So hey everybody, welcome to my channel. It is the middle of June and I think I have everything finally all planted out into my garden. And in today's video, just going to walk around, show you what I got going on, different tasks that you need to do throughout the month of June to keep your garden going and thriving. So let's get started. So you may have noticed here in the background that I have a lot of garden cloches going right now on top of my peppers, my melons, my cucumbers. And this is because we are kind of in a bit of a cool spell here for June. The nighttime temperatures are dropping to around 7 degrees Celsius at night. So that makes the peppers and the melons and the cucumbers a little unhappy. So I've been using these garden cloches that I picked up from Dollarama. These are the largest size ones, and they work really well on bigger plants. And they are keeping this cucumber or this pepper nice and warm and hopefully trapping some of that heat during the day and then keeping it in there at night. So I put these on the ones that these cloches still fit on. As you can see, this one pepper here next to it is a little too big for these cloches. So I am trying another trick here to keep the soil warm, and that is just by using some bricks, putting them around the stems here so that during the day they will absorb heat and hopefully hang on to that and kind of keep that soil warm around the stem and, keep those roots happy. So that's just a new thing I've never tried. I'm not sure how effective it is, but might as well give it a try. These peppers seem to be doing okay. So I'm doing the same thing with these smaller cloches that I picked up at Dollarama. These are a couple little melons that I had started in a seedling snail. You might have seen that video. They're pretty tiny. And so I'm just trying to keep that soil warm around them, keep the humidity inside here, and hopefully those will take off and thrive. And then over here on this side, I'm doing the same thing with my cucumbers. So I got some cucumbers coming here. You can see they're starting to put out some of their true leaves here. This is a parthenocarpic variety called Summer Dance that I believe is parthenocarpic, meaning that they only produce female flowers. You don't have to worry about pollination. So really hoping that those do well and produce. And then I can always use something like from your winter sowing jugs. This is a milk jug cut in half, and I'm just trying to kind of revive a very delicate little melon that I had started in a seedling snail. See if we can get it to catch and keep growing. And this is my first round of lettuces that I got going. I haven't taken a harvest off, but I probably can. So this is one of those live lettuces that I purchased from the grocery store, and I just replanted it into the ground here. I did that last summer and got really nice lettuce off of it, and then I let it go to seed. So this is that same variety that I planted and that came from this here. So this is my first round of lettuce, but I probably will be doing some more succession planting here once my cucumbers get growing. Gets a little more shady here, so this is a good spot to succession plant the lettuces, arugulas, maybe some radishes as well. This is another dollar store cloche that I got that's not too great, but it only fits on smaller sized things. So I'm using it now to try to help along a zucchini. So you can see I got a nice little zucchini coming here. It's shooting out some true leaves. I'll let that just grow over the edge here and hopefully it will produce for me. So in this raised garden bed, I got most of my tomatoes going. These are all determinate that won't get too high, but they can climb up this piece of paneling. And then I've got my indeterminate ones started on my trellis here, so they got lots of growing space. So what I usually do is just run strings down right down to the plant here and just kind of weave it around the main stem and let them grow up. And it works really good. Makes a really nice strong trellis for them. So you can watch for that in future videos. I'll show you that method. I got beets all planted here, and then I got just a row of different herbs. I have my, the cats are having fun here in the background trying to steal the show. But I have my herbs going, basil, oregano, some rosemary, and I got some dill and parsley. So I like to just run all my herbs just in the middle of one of these beds with the tomatoes. And I probably will try to squeeze in some carrot seeds wherever I can in these raised beds. Over here, I got a bunch of onions that are just taking off. These are ones that I started in a winter sowing jug. They're red onions. So they are pretty tiny right now. And once they kind of get more established, I may put some carrots in around here just to kind of fill in the space. And this is another cucumber that I'm trying to keep alive with a little cloche here. Keep it warm over the next week or so that it can really take off, and then hopefully just grow over the edge. Or maybe I will just put up a bamboo pole or something that I can trellis it up. So this here is the netting that I'm just working on getting set up for my cabbages and my kalettes that I have started in here. I talk about this method in my pest control guide that's available. You can check it out in the link in the description box below. But I need to get this more secured and try to put some boards or something in here just so that there's no way for those cabbage moths or those flea beetles to get in and get to my plants. So right now I'm just kind of getting this set up. These are came from the dollar store, these hoops here that you can buy a package of with plastic, you know, for creating some tunnels. These work really well with this netting set up here. So this hopefully will keep my cabbages protected from those pests. So I've expanded my tomato crop into containers just because I had lots of tomatoes left. So these are determinate Manitoba, but they do get quite big. So I've got a bamboo pole here that I also got from Dollarama. These are very cheap, and you can get a bundle of them, I believe, there, and they work good for trellising. This is a Brandywine indeterminate, so it's going to keep growing. So I will start training it up, this bamboo pole here, just by using some clips and strings. So I will try to show that in a future video, just how I can do that. So as you can see here, my comfrey is coming along like crazy. I took a big harvest yesterday and making some comfrey fertilizer, the non-water method. It was part of a live session that I did in my gardening community, and I will be chopping this down, doing a chop and drop method where you can just put this around your plants. Just let it break down slowly and it will add nutrients to the soil. I can also use it in my compost pile over there, chop it up, throw it into the compost. It's a good accelerator for your composting. Plus, hopefully I will be doing some infusions and making some comfrey salve as well. So as you can see, the comfrey comes along really good here. It will be blooming pretty soon and it will be full of bees. So it's a really great attractor and the bees really love the comfrey. So I got these grow bags off of Amazon. I really like them. They've been really nice size for a lot of things. They are 15-gallon. So I got more tomatoes coming in here, peppers. I did some potatoes under straw. They're just popping through here. And what I will do as they keep growing is just keep adding more straw, kind of like a hilling effect. So I don't need to worry about adding more soil. I only filled these halfway with soil and the potatoes are doing good. And as they grow, I'll just keep building up that layers with more straw and we should get a good harvest. My onions are doing great. They also are in containers. These are 30-gallon tubs. mineral tubs that we get from our cattle, so they are food grade safe, and they work really good for planting a lot of different things. So I have, I think, about 5 different varieties of onions coming right now. So one of the tasks that I will be needing to do pretty soon is kind of spooning around, kind of making sure that those bulbs aren't buried too deep, and that way they can start bulbing, because they usually bulb on the top of the soil. So spooning is something that you want to be doing. Sorry, try to get it so you can see here. So you want to be spooning around, just kind of moving some of that dirt so those bulbs can really grow and hopefully get to a nice size. So this is my corn patch that my cat is laying in here, and this was an area that I wanted to try and kill off the quack grass so that I could grow corn in the ground. So I'm using this black weed barrier. It's been on this area here since last fall. And then what I did this spring is I just cut holes 4 across here, planted my corn, put some compost, covered it up with straw just to kind of keep it protected. And I'm getting a really good germination rate here with the corn. And I will probably, I think I put a couple in each spot. So I need to just go around and pinch off one, just so there is only one in every spot here. And I'm hoping this is going to make a nice little patch here and hopefully have success with this. And then maybe by the end of the season, this space I will have killed off most of the quack grass and I can remove the black plastic. But I thought that was kind of a good test to see how the corn would grow just out of these small holes. I think it should work okay. So this is another one of my GroBox garden beds that I love to use for my potatoes. And as you can see, they are starting to pop up. I did some marigolds at the end here for some pest control, and now all the potatoes are starting to pop up. Some are way ahead, but it seems to be coming up good. And then I used the space along the back here to do some peas. So I got some trellising up ready for those peas to climb up here. And once they're done, I can remove all this because probably the potatoes will be taking over most of the space. But again, this is just some cheap trellising that I purchased at Dollarama that works good. So I didn't have much luck growing garlic in a raised garden bed. It all seemed to freeze over the winter and rotted and didn't come up, but I did some in the ground and I got a nice crop coming here. So I think that'll probably stick with that method. For whatever reason, I can't seem to get them to survive in a raised bed. It just gets too cold, even though I did try to insulate it with a lot of straw and everything, and it wasn't a very high raised bed. It just didn't work. So this will be my garlic patch. Over here, I'm trying to kill off some of the original comfrey that I've relocated now all along here. This is where the original patch of comfrey was, and if you've grown comfrey, you know that it is really hard to kill. I put this black patch over top of the area where the comfrey was. I dug out as much of it as I could. I'm just keeping it on here for the whole season so that I can try to kill off those roots, hopefully. And I've just created a little spot here for my pole beans. So using this old ladder as a trellis, I got the pole beans planted in this container. And, you know, it'll try to make this area look a little nicer once we got some green beans growing up here. I'm curious if anybody has grown goji berries and if they've had success with them. This is another thing that I planted years ago in this spot, and it's kind of in the way now, but this is a goji berry bush. Comes back every year. I haven't seen any berries on it yet, so I'm just wondering if maybe it needs, you know, more than one to pollinate, or if anybody knows anything about goji berries, let us know in the comments. So this is kind of the back end of my garden. It's not real pretty, but this is where I'm trying to get more berry bushes established. Right now I have two really nice hascaps going here. This one I planted last year, this one I planted this spring. So you need more than one haskap berry bush in order for them to cross pollinate and produce. So that's why I went and picked up another one. I think it's a tundra and a boreal varieties are these two. And as you can see, I have lots of these mineral tubs that we have an endless supply of from our cattle. Any tubs that have dirt in it, I just throw potatoes in them, cover them with straw, and they will pop up here probably in a couple weeks, and I can just keep adding straw to them. So again, I don't have to use a lot of dirt to grow them, which works great. I have the dwarf cherries. These are the sour cherries, a couple different varieties. This is my fourth or fifth year now with them, and I haven't seen a lot of cherries yet, just a couple. So I'm hoping this year we're going to see actually some cherries. I will show you what they look like up close. So these are the U of S cherries. So they have a few different varieties. I think they're called the Cupid. They have different names, but this one you can see here had a lot of blooms on it. So I'm really hopeful that all of this is going to turn into cherries this year. So we will see how that goes. I have a flax straw bale here that my husband got for me, and this works really good for suppressing weeds. So I've been using it around my berry bushes here. This will flatten out and turn into a nice flat carpet. And as you can see, that's from last year. It really works good for suppressing weeds and keeping the quack grass out, which is my biggest challenge out here right now. So I have a couple of Saskatoons going. I think that's another Saskatoon or a haskap. And I got two blueberries coming here as well. So this is my berry patch, and just keeping the weeds under control is probably the hardest part when you're dealing with the whole forest that is trying to work its way in here all the time. But the flax straw seems to work really well so far. So like I said, I think everything has finally been planted. Sometimes, I don't know if you do this, but you get into the big box stores at this time of year when everything's getting a little picked over, and there's usually some sad little plants that are looking like they would really like a home, and sometimes I feel sorry for them and I bring them home and I try to squeeze them in somewhere. But for the most part, I'm really happy with everything that's in the garden. Just dealing with the cool temperatures right now is a concern because it will stall these things like the cucumbers and the peppers, but hoping that these cloches will help keep them warm and happy. Hopefully no frosts in June. It can happen, but we've been getting some rain, which is awesome. I do have a irrigation system here all set up for my raised beds. It's something I can do a video on in the future if you're interested in that. So I hope you enjoyed my little garden tour here of everything that I have now planted up in the garden. Let me know in the comments if you got your garden all planted. June is a good time to work on some projects, keeping those plants happy and warm, making sure you got your pest control in check, and just enjoying all the things that you started and watching them grow. So I hope you will join my gardening community, Gardeners Growing Together. The link is in the description box below. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.